All right. So really your test tomorrow is going to be on using the distance formula. Most of it, most of the questions are going to have to do with the distance formula. Some of it you'll be able to use other ways to determine the correct answer, but most of it will be using the distance formula. So when you come in tomorrow to take your test, you need to make sure that you have that formula memorized. Okay? You need to make sure you have that formula memorized. It's not a difficult formula to memorize, but you should have that. All right. So this is going to be today's assignment. There's not going to be a ton of these problems, but there's going to be a few. It says for each grid below, you're going to create sides to complete a triangle. Then you're going to label and calculate the distance for each side. Then you're going to determine the perimeter and the area for each one of these triangles. Well, this one's already drawn for you. Kind of gives you an example, okay, of that. This one you're going to have to draw yourself. Now, did it say it had to be so long? No. Did it say it had to be a certain type of triangle? No. So it doesn't matter what type of triangle you draw, as long as you know when you draw it, you're going to have to find the perimeter and you're going to have to find the area, okay, and the length of the sides.
Oh, that seems really easy.
Yeah, not too bad. Okay, you have 4 on this side that you're going to complete and do that. Okay. Let's turn it over. All right, so I'm not going to have you do all of these, but I'm going to have you do 3 of them. So this says calculate the area and perimeter of each of these polygons shown below. Okay, perimeter and area of each of these, the entire figure. Okay. Now, it might look a little weird to do these two, this one right here and this one right here. Okay, but if you break it down into polygons that we are familiar with, okay, you can see that if we were to draw a line across this, right here, we have a rectangle and we have a triangle. So you need to find the information just by splitting up into sections, okay? Same thing here. In this one, you may have 2 triangles in a rectangle. If you look at that picture, you can see that this would be a triangle here, this would be a triangle here, down here, and this would be a rectangle up here. Or this would be, sorry, I'm keeping moving my paper. This would be a triangle down here, this would be a triangle up here, and this would be a rectangle. Okay? So either way you want to look at that, make sure when you're figuring the perimeter, you're just counting the distance around, okay? But when you're finding area, it's everything inside. And you got to add those areas together. Yes, sir?
Is it possible just to make 2 triangles?
You just said that. Oh, you mean draw a line this way?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
But if you do that, you know you're going to have to use the distance formula all 3 times for this triangle. So you want to make sure and draw it in a way that's going to make it the easiest for you to calculate.
How can we turn that into a right angle?
Pardon me?
Possible? Turning that triangle into a right triangle. Is that possible?
Well, that would be a right triangle,
Okay.
right?
And that one would.
This would not be.
That's not a right triangle?
This is not.
Yeah, I know that one.
Okay. So you figure it out. You look at the picture, do it any way in which it makes the calculations easiest for you. That's okay. But before you get started on that, I want to cover 2 things with you because we need to know this tomorrow for the test. First of all, raise your hand if you know what an equilateral triangle is. Raise your hand if you know what an equilateral triangle is. Okay? For most of you. For those of you that don't know, what it means is that it's a triangle with 3 equal sides. Okay? So if somebody gives me the length of one side, I know the other 2 sides are the same length as that one. Okay? That's what an equilateral triangle means. 3 sides of equal length. Okay? Equilateral triangle. 3 sides of equal length. So if one side is the length of 3, so if I have an equilateral triangle, and one side is 3,
Then the
then I
whole-
know that the other two sides are also 3. Okay? Now, the other thing you need to know is what's the difference. Anybody can tell me what's the difference between a regular polygon and an irregular polygon? What's the difference between a regular one and an irregular one? Yes, sir.
Like a regular polygon is normal.
What do you mean by normal?
5 equal sides, or how many sides does polygon have?
3 or more?
Okay. Has 3 or more equal sides, and an irregular polygon has 3 or more different sides.
Okay, that makes sense. So when you talk about a pentagon has 5 sides, right? Penta is 5, hex is 6. So a pentagon 5, if you don't remember that, think of the pentagon. Picture it in your head, it's got 5 sides. Okay? So if it's a regular pentagon, it means each one of those sides has the same length, and there's 5 of them. If it's an irregular pentagon, just like Chaz was saying a moment ago, that means one side might be 4, the other side might be 2, the other side might be 3, then you might have one side that's 5. They're different lengths. Irregular means they're not all going to be the same length. Maybe a couple of them are the same length, but not all of them. Pentagon just means a 5-sided figure. Regular pentagon means a 5-sided figure with all sides of equal length. That's the difference. Okay. All right. Anybody had a question? I thought I saw a hand come up. No? All right, let's go ahead and complete this homework. This will be due tomorrow, and then we will take our test tomorrow. Okay. Yes, ma'am. No, you can write on here. Yeah, you can do everything on here if you like. If there's room for you, be my guest. Be my guest, be my guest. Thank you, man.